When you're starting out with your business or a new product or service launch or marketing effort in your business, you need to make sure that you're getting it funded properly. Hi guys, I'm Derek Haney, and thanks for joining me for another episode of SplashU Small Business Tips, where I help you grow your business every single day. This video cast is designed for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers who need a little bit of help or guidance with their business so that they can reach their maximum potential. Today I want to talk about how to make sure you're getting funding or going about your business from the start and having enough funding to make sure you succeed. Funding is kind of the key underlying issue or problem as you're starting out in business. If everybody had unlimited funds, we'd succeed 100% of the time. So knowing how to get funding, how to spend it, and when to spend it, when to get it is very, very important, and something that I've had to go through with my business, my past businesses, and help other people within their business a few times. I'm certainly not the expert VC advisor, but I do know a couple things about funding that can really help you make sure that you're funding your project or business or whatever the goal is properly. The first thing is really understanding what it's going to take for something to succeed. So you have to start with the research, right? If you are saying, I'm going to create a new social app for cigar smokers or something like that, whatever it is, right? Whatever the thing is, it's like, okay, how much is this going to cost in development? How many people am I going to have to hire? What kind of salaries is it going to take? How do I have to, then spend an advertising budget? When do I start breaking even? What kind of hidden costs and fees are there going to be to this? And when you start adding up your lists of costs, you can see, even a project like that is going to be $100,000, $200,000 minimum starting budget project. So if you go into that with $1,000 and maybe you're the programmer and you think you can get it done, you're going to fail almost certainly due to just lack of funding. It doesn't, motivation, passion, all of those things will help you succeed until the point where you realize you needed funding earlier because that funding would have skyrocketed you out of negative territory and helped fix issues that you can't solve on your own. So it's really important to get a solid framework of what your project is going to cost before you launch it. And I had to learn this the hard way with some of my clients who I gave them a couple of options as far as what advertising package to take with our business. And I said, take the small package for $1,000 a month, and I can't guarantee profitability. We're going to cost you more than we're even spending in advertising. It's going to be really, really slow and go. And it's going to take a while for you to kind of get this moving out of the rut, and you're just going to have to invest more money later to speed things up. Or we start with a bigger budget, we get to solve problems faster and earlier, we keep more people in our marketing funnel, we're able to connect with people faster, we can build a little bit more steam, and we'll see success earlier. And it should be easier because we're able to add more tools and more touch points into our strategy or our campaign or something and we have a bigger ad budget, so we're going to hit more people or hit the same people more times. So I've given this option to two people or a few clients, and two of them, especially in the recent past, basically said, we can't do this anymore, it's not working. And I said, yeah, I told you it wasn't going to work from the beginning. And I think this was my fault for allowing them to continue with a budget that was too small. And this is why I'm talking about it today. You have to fund that project properly from the start and understand that it can't succeed if you go at it half-assed. If you can add in 5 more things that limit the margin of failure, by 10, 15%, you need to wait until you can afford for those things before launching off on this endeavor and starting your project or business. So it's really important to make sure that you're closing as many holes as possible before you start and having that budget to launch you to the top. So the best way to get funded once you know what you need is to reach out to friends and family with the business idea at hand. Hopefully you have expertise in this space and you can convince somebody to give you a small amount of money for a piece of the company. The best person to reach out to is someone in the industry or in a related industry that can help you grow that business. Maybe somebody that's been there before, or somebody that can just work alongside you in some respects. Some of the bad places to go would be maybe like web design firms or web development firms that will take a piece of equity for their work. These guys are guns for hire, and even though they're taking equity instead of money, they aren't going to have as much help or passion as somebody that's like your in-house partner that's a web designer, or web developer or something like that, because they're gonna say, okay, well, we worked 100 hours for this project, now you have to pay us, or we're gonna take more equity, or you're gonna have to pay us back in back pay before you can cash in on your project. So they end up not really being 100% dedicated and willing to not take any money for a long period of time and kind of starve alongside you as you're growing the business or product. And that means that there's a slight conflict of interest. They're going to try to do as little as possible for you, in order to get just like the minimum desired result. And you want people that want to get the maximum amount possible at every step of the way. And even though they have equity, so they do have some incentives to go for the max, they still want to do it with the minimum amount of time spent. So you have to get somebody that's on the same page as you and really, really wants to help you. And you need, if you're going to do that, you probably, with somebody that you don't know very well, you're going to need a contract. And that's just one of the unfortunate side effects of it, is definitely getting a contract in place when you take money from somebody. And there's a lot of great places to help with the contract. The Founder Institute, I think it's founderinstitute.com or .org, they have a great document for advisors and how to give equity for that. The name escapes me right now, but I'll try and leave it in the show notes below. So getting advisors, team members on board that are really, really passionate and can help, and people that will eat ramen noodles alongside you is the key to building a team and getting funded or getting the right people in place for success. So kind of going off on a few tangents there. But the important part is that you make sure you understand a bit about your runway, the amount of time it takes before you go broke. Make sure you understand a bit about how much it's really going to cost before you turn profitable. And since most people's end goal is to make a lot of money, you should also work out how long is it going to take for me to make my first million, given these assumptions. And your assumptions are going to be wrong. They're supposed to be wrong. But if you make conservative assumptions, then those are the first goals you can set for yourself. And then when you beat those goals, you can give yourself a high five and say, yes, I did it. We're on our way to beat our projections, and the people that signed up alongside you will see that you're beating those numbers, and that is way better than setting a goal too high and underperforming it. So setting very conservative goals for yourself, making sure that you expect problems and failures and complications along the way, and assigning a big enough budget to handle it are the keys to succeeding before even getting out the door. That's the way to make sure that you're not going to fail and just fall flat on your face when you get out there. That's it from me. If any of this was helpful, please guys subscribe below. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. I'm always interested in your feedback and knowing if this helped you in any way, if you've had any similar issues or problems with getting funded or being underfunded, or even being overfunded. If that's ever happened to you, please tell me down below. And this is Derek Haney from SplashU Small Business Tips. I'll see you guys next time.